Over 2,800 people have made it into the Two Comma Club by making at least $1 million in their business. And you get the opportunity to understand exactly how it is that they have done it on an individual by individual basis through this podcast. If you're interested in learning more about the tidbits and advice that they have, then you should consider subscribing to the Two Comma Club newsletter, where you'll get daily updates and advice on the podcast and the things that we are learning from the individuals who have made at least $1 million. Just go to 2ccnewsletter.com or click the link in the description down below and subscribe.
When I got introduced to an officer and he told me, I see that you're really doing good, but how about your finances? What are your things? How's your marriage? How are those other things? And he told me to read these specific books. And then when I read those specific books, I didn't want to be in the military no more. So that's how it just all started. So he told me to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Automatic, Think Millionaire, and then Secrets of a Millionaire's Mind. I believe were the three books by T. Harv Eker. And then from there, I was like, man, I'm wasting a lot of time. Like, because I wanted to be in the military for 30 years. Like, I was moving up in the ranks and I wanted to become an officer. And I was like, I'm going to be a captain in the Navy. I'm going to do 30 years, retire, good to go. Read that book. I was like,
All right, welcome back to episode 5 of the Two Comma Club podcast. We're joined here today with Dave Cousins. So Dave, we got to meet you at Funnel Hacking Live, and it was an amazing experience getting to see you come fresh off the stage, collecting your Two Comma Club award. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how it is that you got started with funnels.
well, when I first got introduced to Russell Brunson was back at Grant Cardone's event, but I didn't have nothing to sell then. I just went because I just started with the aspiring entrepreneur. I was in I was in the military at the time, and that's when I all got started. And I went to the event and I saw him, but I didn't pay for it. Well, when he had his offer, I didn't have nothing too. So I was like, I didn't buy nothing. It was just for experience. And then from there, along that journey, I got reintroduced when I saw, I think, an ad. And then that's when I started following his information. And I wanted to learn more about funnels and how I can help my business. So that's when it all got started.
Heck yeah, that's great. He gets you with those ads, doesn't he? He's so good at
Yeah,
them.
it was good. I think I went to the Two Comma Club live. No, it was the 2CCX live. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
nice. Heck yeah. So what Grant Cardone event were you at?
10X, the second,
10X?
yeah, the 10X at Las Vegas.
Awesome. How was that experience?
It was amazing. Got to see like so many people. I think it was like 10,000 people there. Got to meet so many people that was aspiring or was a business owner and get to hear their stories and things like that when it came to business. And then it was just amazing. People like myself that was either started, gave me a lot of information. Just it was great. It was a great experience.
Fantastic. So, heard you were in the military, just said it a
Mhm.
second ago. First and foremost, thank you for your service. Secondly, what got you into that? What was the motivation behind that?
But joining the military?
Hmm.
Okay. So for joining the military, I just wanted to, well, I wanted to travel and see the world. So I joined the Navy. They gave me the best option to see the world. I did go to many places. And then from there, I had a family. Well, I already had a family before I joined. It was just me and my girlfriend at the time. And then we had a baby. And from that experience, we was living in an apartment. And as my daughter grew up, she made a lot of noise, of course. But one of my business partner, he had bought a house, and I asked him like, what was the process of him buying a house, and he told me. And then from there, when I went to go buy a house, my credit score was trash, so I couldn't qualify for the house. And they told me some of the things that were required to actually get a house. And then from there, when I got my house, well, I learned a lot of things doing it myself. And then when I got my house, I started posting it on Facebook, all the things that I got a house, got a credit card, and things like that. And me and my business partner was posting it, and people was asking a lot of questions So from there, we just gave information. But that's what got us started in the credit repair industry was just me posting on Facebook.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So, did you primarily stick with Facebook for posting content from there on, or did you expand to other platforms?
So it started with Facebook, and then eventually, when we started running out of referrals and things like that, it then had me along the journey of getting started with trying to figure out how to get more leads. So I learned a strategy to do on YouTube, and then I started doing on YouTube, and from there, it was amazing.
So, did you look up different like strategies for YouTube, or did you buy a course or something? How did you get the strategy that worked for you there?
Um, I've I was following a guy named Chris Crone, and he was doing like real estate. And
I
then
know
from
that
there,
guy.
he had brought in a YouTube person. It was like way back, and he was basically it's called Nate Woodbury, and he was talking about like answering specific questions for your content, and he basically broke down his whole strategy. And then from there, I learned what he did, and I just followed that strategy, and we just got a whole like a lot of leads. So his strategy was find specific questions people are asking, answer those specific questions, post it on YouTube, and then be consistent. And you have to do it every day for 4 months, and you'll see like a spike that YouTube will promote your stuff to more people, and then continue being consistent after that. But we was getting like a lot of traffic before the 4 months because a lot of people was like amazed about the information I was giving them. So that's when it all just took off.
That's awesome. So, where did you find those questions that you were answering?
So there are two places you can go to. One that was free, which is was not Answer the Public is one of them where you can find specific questions about your business or any business. And then the other one is like a paid one. It has a free, but it only has like you only could do 10 at a time. And it was called SEM Rush. And you can go there, semrush.com or Answer the Public. But I think they have a paid one too. And you can whatever business you're in. So if you're in credit, any type of business, consulting, lawn care, any business, all you got to do is type your phrase, and you can find the questions people are asking about your business, and you can make video content around those questions. But the good thing about that, since it's on YouTube with the SEM brush, basically if they're searching that, they're looking for you. So
That
that's how.
makes sense. That's awesome. I love that. So it sounds like if I understand the story correctly, you had a need to move out due to
Hmm.
your family and everything, and then you ran into your first problem of the credit score, and
Yep.
then you did the research, found the solution, and then you proceeded to start sharing it with other people who had a similar issue
Yep.
through content creation. So
Yes.
that's awesome. At what point and how did you guys go about figuring out ways to, I guess, start monetizing from that track, if you will?
Following Russell Brunson. So he talked well when I brought a another course, I forgot what it is, from Dominique Brown. In his course, he followed Russell Brunson's strategy, and he was talking about collecting leads and doing like that and building up your email list. And that's when I learned like I had got a coach about in credit repair. So I had brought his information, and then from there he talked about Russell Brunson's strategy of building up your email list, and then every week blast into your emails to schedule a call. And then he like recommended some books, and I think that's when I started following, well, getting more like when I clicked on Russell Brunson's of course page, got the Facebook pixel and all, and then tracked me in, and I started seeing more stuff about Russell Brunson. So that's when it all got started.
Awesome. So you were using his classic opt-in funnel. Is that how you did it to start getting those leads to book calls with them?
Yes. So I was using Kartra at the time before I started using ClickFunnels. I was using Kartra. Another business coach had recommended, and then we started using Kartra to collect like book a call. And then from there, that's when I learned. I already knew about ClickFunnels, but I didn't know how to use it. And then when I got into Russell, then I started to learn how to use ClickFunnels for our business.
That's awesome. Heck yeah.
Is that was a question? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I was just more or less diving into kind of the funnels that you found that were the most
Oh,
helpful
the
for you.
squeeze, the opt-in funnel. So it was well, one was just giving them a free gift. So a squeeze page. So I gave them a free secret letter. Secret letter, I just tell them to get the secret letter. And then from there, they will give me their name, phone number, and email. And I will follow up with like different products. First, before the products, I had them book a call. And then our calendar got super booked out. So I had to stop that. And then from there, I was offering them different products like a 5-pack dispute kit, a class teaching a 5-pack dispute kit. Um, from there, that's when I started learning more about funnels and started adding different offers.
That's
So that's
awesome.
the first thing was just the squeeze page, the opt-in funnel
Did
first.
you was the opt-in funnel the one that ultimately got you the two Comic Club award?
Yes.
That's
We
awesome.
had got we got like 75,000 leads because off of YouTube, they get it. And then like I had so many videos and people opted in, and then we just offered on the back end different product and services.
That's fantastic. So did you
Yes, sir.
find one specific problem that these individuals were coming to you to repair their credit for? Was it generally the house or was it something else?
So it was mostly people want a house, people want a car, people wanted to leverage their credit to get access to funding. Really, I didn't really push that too much, but it was like specific problems they wanted. But a lot of people either want a house, a better credit score. Some people had bankruptcy problem, well, had bankruptcy and they just wanted off their credit to, get better. And then there were just many different problems, but people just want their credit score to be better.
I love that. I love that. This is Chris here, Dave. Good to see you again. I
What's
know
going
we
on?
talked and one of your things were helping folks buy a house. We do a lot of real estate. That's kind of my
Okay.
thing. And I
Yeah.
just see a lot of folks, and that's a big deal. It just can
Mhm.
inhibit a lot of people who have good income, but they're just not managing their credit right. So what kind of got you guys? I mean, for you, this was a big deal for you, but how'd you discover some of these tactics and things you learned? How'd you get into some of those things or find that out yourself?
So when I wanted to, well, I had talked to a loan officer and he told me to try to like remove this collection, pay down these credit cards. And then I started to do more research, I think on YouTube. I think I got hit with an ad. And when I first got started, I got introduced to Credit Secrets. I got introduced to their group. And then from there, I started to learn more about cleaning up my personal information, doing specific things to remove things off my credit report. And then I got introduced to the specific, well, I got introduced to the laws. And then when I got introduced to the laws, it was a wrap after that. I just started dialing on the specific laws to then remove things off my credit report. And that's what I really teach on credit. I mean, on YouTube is like use these laws to get things removed from your credit report. And that's when it all got started. I mean, that's how I got better to help people. But I stopped helping people because of people were doing bad things in the industry. Let's to log out to CFPB is going after people. So now what we do is just teach people how to do it themselves. But since I started doing that, I went to a credit con, which would then I got introduced to lawyers, and then me and the lawyer partner up to now we get the client, we help them out, we get the violations, and then the lawyer sues them. So it's better, and they get better results
I love
versus
that.
we send the letters back and forth. We just get the violations that since the credit bureaus don't like to do what they're supposed to do, we stack up the violations. We submit it to him, and then he goes after the credit bureaus and the debt collectors, which is a win-win for everybody because everybody get paid.
I love that. So I love your affiliate program, how you partner with folks. I love that. I'm all about
Yeah.
collaborating. So that's brilliant. I think that's brilliant. So I love how you guys did that. And now how by partnering with that attorney, that lawyer, how has that grown your business? Or what have you done to kind of to get yourself out of the way and help things grow?
So we just started that program. It brings a exclusivity because now it's not like I set myself apart because I'm now working with like a law firm versus, of course, I people trust me, but now it's like even better since I'm working with a lawyer, and you get to actually talk to him and his team. So it's amazing.
I love that. I think that's brilliant.
Yep. That made me even want to become a lawyer now, because like I just see not just the money, like I like helping people, and I see that when you send a letter to the credit bureaus, they don't really care. Like whatever, we'll take it off when we want to take it off, or they don't respond, or it's just whatever. But credit like hurts people. Like they have bad credit. Somebody with amazing credit versus a person with bad credit, they'll pay a lot more versus a person that has good credit.
Yeah, I like how you're bucking the system there, but really helping people out who just don't
Yeah.
know or just ignorant or don't know, and you guys give them the ability to kind of fight back on that because it's not really an arbitrary thing. It's not really a fair thing. It's all discriminatory. I think it's discriminatory, but um, that's just my 2 cents on it. But I love it, man. I love what you guys are doing. So you really provide a service people need, and things are taking off. How are things going now for you guys? Obviously, you got your 2 Comma Club award. You guys are moving up. What are you guys shooting for now? What are some of your goals or what you guys have that you want to drive for this year?
This year, just because we just got done, we went to acquisitions.com. He has like a workshop with Alex Mosey. So
Yeah.
it was just building the business to where we're not trying to sell it, but build a business to where it's run correctly. I ain't say it's not run correctly, but just having the specific people like players in the business, and it's continue building its I guess value. So just building the business, I ain't saying we build it the wrong way, the correct way. So if we wanted to sell it, it would be worth something. That's what we're going towards now.
Makes total sense. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So that's the focus is just, all right, who are the people that we need? Who are the people we need to hire? How can we make this better? And then how can we, turn one lead into a client, which would then like help as many people as possible.
Just really leaning into that value added proposition
Yeah.
type stuff, making
Yes,
sure
sir.
that you're able to set it up appropriately in that capacity. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Heck yeah. So I guess one of the questions I have is more of a personal question, and it's like, technically speaking, correct me if I'm wrong here if you feel differently, but you're technically an entrepreneur at this point, right? Would you say so?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you ever desire to be an entrepreneur when you were younger, or kind of go out on your own, or did it just kind of find you? How do you think about that?
When I was younger, not necessarily. When I was younger, um, like I did stuff, but I didn't I didn't get introduced to entrepreneurship. Saw my dad do certain things, but it wasn't like, all right, I'm gonna become an entrepreneur. When I grow up, when I wanted to be a basketball player first. That didn't work, and then I saw my dad. He was in the banking system to where I wanted to be an accountant. And then that's when I started to learn, like, I love math, like numbers and things like that. So I wanted to be an accountant at first. And then I got tired of going to school. So I had joined the military. And then from there, I just did the military thing because I wanted to travel and see the world. And it was really, well, I ain't gonna say easy, but the military wasn't hard. So it was just more of, I guess, it, being in the military actually helped me in the business, but it was like just, how can I say specific words? Learning the things in the military helped in the business, but I didn't want to become an entrepreneur. But learning how my dad, the discipline and the things also helped. And then the entrepreneurship actually found me because when I got introduced to um an officer and he told me, I see that you're really doing good, but how about your finances? What are your things? How's your marriage? How are those other things? And he told me to read these specific books. And then when I read those specific books, I didn't want to be in the military no more. So that's how it just all started. So he told me to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Automatic, Think Millionaire, and then Secrets of a Millionaire's Mind. I believe were the three books by T. Harv Eker. And then from there, I was like, man, I'm wasting a lot of time. Like, because I wanted to be in the military for 30 years. Like, I was that, I was moving up in the ranks and I wanted to become an officer. And I was like, I'm going to be a captain in the Navy. I'm going to do 30 years, retire, good to go. Read that book. I was like, um, I, I wanted to, build a business or build something else. And that's when it all got started.
I love that. I love how something sparked in you, but somebody else who came into your life kind of sparked it for you. I'm a huge reader, so I love you talking about
Yep.
books. And Rich
Yep.
Dad Poor Dad is probably what changed me. And talk about being in the military, just learning leadership principles and those
Mhm.
kind of things. There's obviously some good out of that, but you
Yeah.
also know that's not where you wanted to park your tent for the rest of your life.
Yeah, because
Then,
I
so I
was
like that.
thinking like, instead of spending 30 years, like instead of doing 30 years in the military, I could do 30 years building a business and growing something that I can have.
Yeah, I love that. John and I are part of a beta group with a guide. He has a
Mhm.
business, and that's what he does. He helps folks get their business to a point where they can sell it and get some
Okay.
profitable. And we're real excited. We're learning a ton being in his group. And like you
Hmm.
said, having something you could sell and or be able to pass down to your family or friends, but
Yep.
it could be something that's really important and valuable. And you're creating that. I love creating jobs and helping people. I think that's awesome what you guys are doing. You're not only doing that, but you're helping people with their credit in a
Yes.
system that's just set up for failure, if you don't know how to play by the rules. So I love what you guys are doing. I'm super excited about it, Dave. Super excited.
Appreciate it. It's amazing. It's just
Yeah.
like just to see somebody's reaction when their credit score, like, I can't believe this actually worked. It's like amazing. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I love what so looking at, you mentioned something. This is a challenge. I've had a lot of folks I've tried to help, just limited
Mhm.
knowledge I have, to repair their credit to help them out. Like you said, they get a letter, they shoot out to the credit reporting agencies or bureaus. They don't care. So
Mhm.
with you partnering or collaborating with an attorney, how are things different now when they get a letter from an attorney, and how has that helped you get more value to people or help them get their credit score?
Oh,
How is that different now than Jim just sending a letter out?
so when an attorney sends a specific letter to the credit bureaus, they get the same response, but it's documented now. So it's like now we got these violations, and then he just builds it, and then hey, it's time to go. Well, basically, he sues them, the credit bureaus, and now they actually, communicate. Now they want to talk. So it's
It's
different
funny how an attorney sends a
because
letter out. You said one and now it's
yeah,
different.
because when attorneys send a letter out, the credit bureaus still respond the same way, right? But now, since the attorney goes after the credit bureaus, now he gets a different. He talks to their attorney, and now it's like they communicate and whatever, and eventually remove the thing off their credit report. And when it comes to debt collectors, he goes after them, sues them, and it's like a win because they don't have to pay the debt no more. They get money in their pockets. So instead of like you own all this money, you don't owe no money. Plus, you get extra money put in your pockets.
That's awesome. That's
Yep.
awesome. I love that, man. I love that. That's a force multiplier right there. I love that.
Yeah, it's just like, man, it's amazing. I was like, dang. So now this person, instead of being $20,000 in debt with these collections or this charge off, they don't owe the money no more. They got money in their pockets.
I love that. So you guys, how are you guys building that out now? Just from a build out standpoint for your system, how are you building that now that somebody can just plug into it or somebody can just jump on it with you, or what's that look like for you guys? How you build it out and how the end product's being going to your users now?
So basically, how it works is when a person wants to sign up with us, we lay out what we do, and basically, once they say yes, that I want to do it, they pay $197 a month for 6 months, 4 to 6 months, depending on how long we get these violations. We get enough violations, we build a case based off of how the lawyer wants it. He helps us build, well, he, trains us to build a case. And then basically we're contract paralegals. Um, and then we build a case. And then once the case is fully built, we get enough violations. He then takes over. We do a transfer. He takes over, and then from there, him and his team goes after everybody,
Awesome.
and that's
So
how
how
it
how's it
works.
look for you guys? Obviously, I get the 197 a month for 4 to 6 months. How's it look for
Yeah.
the attorney? Or how's he get? And does he just
So
split
he
that with you, or is
gets
that, or how's he get?
no, he gets the money off of the back end when he sues, because when a lawyer gets in, they document for their time and
Yeah.
everything else. So typically, he'll probably, I don't know how much money he makes, but I'm thinking since he's gonna take over the case, lawyers don't like to waste their time. So I'm thinking anywhere between like $10,000 to $20,000 from those specific cases, and then of course he gives some of the money to the client, and he also give us a referral fee for giving it to him.
Nice, nice. And he's getting, that's obviously coming from the credit bureau. Is that where that's coming from?
Yeah,
Or,
credit from the credit bureaus and debt collectors. Yep.
and my understanding is they're just trying to settle. Once they get sued, they're just trying to settle. They don't want to go to
Yeah, they
court.
they
Like
trying
something.
to. Yep. They have. They make so much money.
I know
They
it's
make so
crazy, isn't
much
it?
money. And like we found a video where the credit bureaus, like, they rather just, instead of fixing the system, they rather just pay out. That's what he said. I mean, that's not exactly what he said. That's what I interpret. For real.
So it's
That's
just, I mean,
basically
it's
like, instead of like, because they're supposed to have so many people, they're supposed to have a lot of people demand their system. Because if you send a letter out, there's some stuff that's required for them to do that, and there's stuff that they're supposed to record that they're supposed to have a lot of people, but they do this through all automations and systems. So instead of having the people to actually look over, it takes a lot of man hours. Now we learn from the military, and they just rather not fix that. They would just rather wait for somebody to sue them, to pay them whatever, and then keep on. Because people are not going to go. Some people are not going to take action to get the or to sue them. So they're just making a lot of money off of their name, off of their personal information.
yeah, I see that. I see that a lot, unfortunately, for people, and they're just, most of them are stuck. They don't know how to get out of it. So for you guys, I see you guys had a ton of value. You had a
Hmm.
ton of help for people. Obviously, it's a win for you, a win for your partners you're working with.
Hmm.
How can people, so looking at that, like what percentage, or like when you have a client or somebody reaches out to you guys, what percentage can people, can you help? If there's a percentage you guys will put down or can convert, what does that look like for you guys?
How many people we can help?
Yeah, like a percentage wise, like somebody calls and you can't help them, or somebody you can help. What does that look like for you guys?
So I think we can help everybody, but it depends on what's going on with them. So if they're being sued by somebody, then the lawyers, it depends on what's going on, like how they're being sued. Did they like violate the laws? Because some lawyers, or the lawyer, sometimes can't take their case because of they can't afford to pay him to actually defend. So since they're being sued, he has to defend them versus we're going after. So it's a different case. And then person with identity theft, he loved those cases because they done messed up. Like a person that has like mismatched name or somebody else information on their credit report, or they've been the victim. Oh, he's knocking them over the head. And then I think a person that's been through bankruptcy, it just all depends on, because on a bankruptcy case, there are certain requirements that they're supposed to do on a credit report that if they mess it up, he'll go after them as well. So it's just pretty much if the person can afford to pay the money for us to help them. But I think the one thing is, like, if you're being sued and you don't have the money to um, pay for him or do that, that's probably when we can't take it.
Yeah.
But he basically says, like, you should try to settle so they won't take the money out of your paycheck, like, go to court and whatever. So he said,
Yeah.
like, try to settle, and then from there we'll get the violations and go
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
them if you
Yeah.
can't afford it. Yep.
I love that. I love that. You guys are providing awesome service. I see most people, and this is what I see typically, correct me if I'm wrong, is somebody just didn't pay a bill, forgot to pay a bill, or they got something, they got in a hard spot, divorce or a death, and now
Yeah.
it's on their credit report. How do you guys help somebody like that, obviously?
So based off of like what you just said is like, well, because most people either didn't know about credit or they took credit for granted, life happened, or they knew about credit, life happened, lost their job, went through a time, bad period, and then got back on the ropes, doing better for themselves, but their credit report is holding them back. So basically, we'll take them, get on the phone call, break down their annual credit report, and tell them, this is what we see. This is the inconsistent. This is what we can do. And then from there, if you want to sign up, it's going to take probably like a 12-month, we tell like 12-month process. There's no guarantee because with the laws, we can't say, hey, it's going to take this amount of time to actually fix your
Yeah.
credit. So expect to be a 12-month process. We'll get the violations. We'll collect everything. We're communicating with a person, documenting violations. If the credit or if a debt collector calls you, we're documenting everything because of violation. Once we tell them to cease communication, they're supposed to stop doing certain things. And if they continue doing it, it's a violation, calling you, sending you letters. If the credit bureaus don't do specific things, we just document everything. And then from there, we send it over. The lawyer would then send out some letters. And if they don't like fix whatever, then he documents everything. And then from there and the crazy thing is each credit bureau he's getting paid from. And another, I think, credit bureau as well. So it's like 4 different places. And now he just, yeah. See, it's like
I love
crazy.
it. I love it. You guys are such advocates. I love it, man. Like,
Yeah.
just all you want to do is follow the rules. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah,
You're
yeah,
just
yeah.
trying to, and there's nobody
Just on the
policing that,
phone,
obviously.
just remove it off their credit report.
I know. I
So
love that. And that's a
based off of
challenge.
the laws. Yeah.
I've had several things misspellings to my name. I've had people steal my credits. Been through the ropes like that. So I get it. That's a
Hmm.
challenge to dig back out of that, man. You got to be diligent and on top of it. And
Yes,
I
sir.
love yeah, what you guys doing is a ton of value there, I think, for people. And I mean, so looking at business, like I said, credit, I made mistakes. I went bankrupt when I was 27, rebuilt it, built my business. Now I have a real estate business and I have some other businesses, but I
Hmm.
learned, I learned from those things. I would never do it
Yes.
again, but I learned that, hey, it's really impacted my credit in a negative way. And obviously, I need to be careful of that because it's so temperamental that system is. But a friend of mine, he says you got to watch it every day. You got to look at it and see if people are messing with your credit or you
Yeah.
have people pulling your credit. I mean, a lot of
So
stuff happens.
to maintain your credit, we can talk about that if you want to, but to maintain it is just
Hmm.
like you have those different credit monitoring. So Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, and yourcreditreport.com do offer like to see your credit reports. And a lot of people don't want to look at, but Experian, I think TransUnion, Equifax do have like apps, like free apps now where they can monitor their credit. You can lock your credit report and anytime you want to, or put a temporary freeze on your credit report. So anytime you want to apply for anything, you could just unfreeze it and then apply for the things that you want. You could put a fraud alert on your credit report. So if somebody's trying to pull your credit or if you don't want to do that part, like anytime somebody applied, they have to give you a call first and verify it's you. So those are some of the things that you can do to put in place to like maintain your credit report. So you don't get a victim of identity theft or things like that. So those are the like 3 things you can do.
I love
Like just
that.
put
I'm sure
put a
you got
lock.
videos about that. I'm sure you do.
Oh yeah. Mhm. Talk about it.
I love
I
that.
talk about like different ways to build your credit, like the whole process of what you can do by yourself to, get your credit back in line and build it up to get the things that you want.
I love that, man. What you guys are doing is awesome. I mean, I think getting back to your business. I'm sorry I got derailed. I love talking about credit
Okay.
because I do real estate. I'm always helping people. Getting back in your business though, and people, our audience, what is like the secret sauce for you guys? Obviously, a lot of people can do what you guys are doing. What's your secret sauce that you
I,
guys are providing?
for business, this answer specific questions. Like if you're in business, everybody has a question. So if everybody has a question, you just break down that question. You thinking that you're going to give it away the secrets, but you're really not. You just showing that you're the expert and you can help that question to help them to get them to where they want to be. So if you find all the questions that people are asking, help them out. Some people are gonna do it themselves. Some people don't have the time, but the people that do it themselves is gonna praise you and continue being your fans and like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
But the people that don't have the time, is going to pay you because they realize that you're the expert. So that's the secret sauce. Just answer people's questions because God created you to serve. So since you are he created you in his image. So since he's a creator, you're a creator as well. And he also just wants you to help other people. So I just believe that if you help people, then you could have the things that you want. But the in between is where we get things messed up. We have to, I think we mismanage our money when it comes to business. We see all the flashy stuff that we want at first, but if you continue helping people, then eventually you'll have enough money to then get the things that you want. And
I
over
love that.
a span of time, you're going to continue reaping what you sow.
I love that.
For sure.
I love it.
So you
So
mentioned God there, and
and of course collecting information, like answering questions and then collecting the information, like that's very important. So you can then follow up with different product and services if they can't buy at the time. So those are like two things: collecting
That's awesome.
collecting their emails and answer people's questions and making content. Now you don't have to make video content. You can do a podcast. You can create a blog answering questions. But I think the best thing you should do is make video. The reason why is because people get to hear, see, and trust you. See that you're the expert. You can do faceless videos. But if you could help somebody's question and solve it for them, it's a game changer to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. We can see that you're crushing it right now using that exact formula. You're practicing what you're preaching. It's great, man. That's awesome. I'm taking notes. I'm gonna be doing this here soon myself, so try to provide more value for people. But that said, I heard you mention God a minute ago, and like we're both men of faith and everything, and sounds like you are as well.
Yes, sir.
I know that in my personal entrepreneur journey, like faith has been literally like the number one key for me continuing on this path and being able to keep going. Cause it's like, I can't tell you the number of times where I've come up against a how that I don't know how to do, but then somehow it just works out. Have you had any, I guess, harder moments in your journey where it's like, man, I really don't know how this is going to work, but then all of a sudden, like God shows you the way and it just comes together?
Yes, people. Getting introduced to the right people. At first, we was introduced to the wrong people when it came to business. Well, when we started because we wanted the get rich quick schemes. It's not like get rich. We just like, oh, we see this. Let's try it out. All right. Make a lot of money. So we just try it, but it didn't work. Just paying for the wrong information, but got introduced to the right people, which then helped us in business. So yes, I understand.
That's great.
I love
great. So yeah, you mentioned earlier, my girlfriend's actually, she just got out of the military. She was in the Air Force and everything. And
She joined Wrong Branch.
that's hilarious.
I always say that. If they
So-
don't join the Navy, I'll be like, you joined the wrong branch.
That's great. She was wondering, she's sitting over there and can kind of hear a little bit about this. And she was asking me, she's like, her experience in the military was such that she basically had a lot of people who were trying to keep her in the military as opposed to help expand her mind and get her out of there. So it sounds like you had a very unique experience there.
They don't want you to get out. They love you. And they'll try to do whatever they can to keep you in. Especially if you're a good person that's helping the military as a whole, right? So yes, people thought I was crazy that I wanted to get out. But people know me and they saw like what I was doing. So it wasn't like, oh, we trying to, but they thought I was joking when I said I was gonna get out. But they also saw what I was doing and they like, so at first, when I first talked about it, it was a crazy thing. So when I was back in 2017, when I first got introduced to all the start entrepreneurship and things like that, that I was like, I ain't staying in. But I'm gonna do what was required in the military, but I'm not staying in. Just letting y'all know. I'm gonna finish this contract. I'm gonna do another contract to be a recruiter, so I can have more time to myself instead of being to this, and then I'm gonna build this out when I'm getting out. And that was like my whole game plan. So yes, they want to keep you in while you're there, especially if you're really good. You do what they say. You provide value to different junior sailors or to the younger people helping them. Like, yeah, they want to keep you in and they want to promote you to continue because even though they don't say it, they're going to be getting out. So they need better leaders to help people. So yeah, they do want to keep you in.
So what was that experience with that gentleman who came in? What kind of, I guess, attributes would you say that were different about them that they went on and shared those books with you to get you, thinking about things differently and all that?
So he was a CW chief warrant officer, warrant officer number 5, the highest of a chief warrant officer that you can get. He was he was like a person that you don't mess with. So, but he invited, since like we worked for him, he invited me to his office and I couldn't really communicate with him because I wasn't in the right mindset. So he told me to go read those books first before I could actually talk to him, which was funny. Like when it came to like work, it was different. But when it came to, I started asking questions. He was like, "You're asking all these questions. I don't have the time. So go read these books, and then we can actually have an effective talk." So it was funny. So I think that was number one test to see if I was like serious. So I read those books, and then I got back with him, and then we started talking. But he saw me as I was, moving up the ranks because I got in the military. Like I went from, when I got there, I was already at E4 and I went to E5. And then I got a special promotion where they automatically promote you like without taking the test. So I had got that one from E5 to E6 because of like I went against everybody. I was like the number 1 sailor and I got promoted as an E6. And then I started to learn more. I took over, like I was in charge of a lot, but he wanted to sit down because I wanted to become an officer in the military. So I would talk to him about like becoming an officer. And then he was asking about like different, besides officer, like different aspect. Where was my credit? Like different things, not where was my credit, but like, how's this? What about moving into a house? And all these different things I didn't think about. And then that's what sparked the conversation. And then I started asking him more what he was doing. And he had like a business and invested into stocks and all those different things. And he was like, "Yeah, go read these books first before we can have an effective dialogue
I love
conversation."
it. I love how he poured into your life there and he kind of gave you tons of value. And I
Yeah.
saw how you guys did too, how you guys started your business. You're just trying to give it away, the
Hmm.
information. And then, but obviously people could do it, but they wanted to pay for that speed to have you
Yeah.
guys do it for them. I think that's a real critical part. Just like your mentor here, he wanted to have a conversation with you, but he needs you to catch up and get to speed. And reading those
Yes.
books is where it's at. Same thing. You had the knowledge.
Because
A
he
lot of
asked me
people
one
to pay
question,
for that
which was
speed.
funny. He's like, what's your most valuable, what's your most valuable asset? And I was like, a house. And he's like, "Yeah, go read these books." And then I realized it was my time. And then
Yeah.
when it was my time, and I was like, "Oh, no, why?" I was thinking to myself, like, why would he tell me that? And when he told me that, well, when he told me to read those books, it just changed my whole mindset of being in the military. Like, damn, I'm just wasting time being in the military. And I think that's one of the things he wanted me to see. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, until you see it, you can't. Somebody can't show it to you, is what I always
yeah.
say. You got to see it for yourself.
Hmm.
Getting into that, what's kind of focused on you particularly? What is your core strength or kind of your unique ability within your team? Obviously, you guys got different parts moving. You're bringing people on. You got an attorney now you're working with. What's your core strength and ability within your business?
The core strength, I think the attractive character, the marketing side of the business. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my key quality. Like I get excited. I'd be like, knock credit bureaus out, doing specific things, breaking down, trying to be a little entertaining, fun, and showing the process. But marketing is like what I like doing.
I love
So
that.
that's
I
the
love that.
key. And then my business partner does the operations and handle the client success. Like I still do it. I talk to him, but he does that part of the business.
That's good. That's good. You guys pick out and who work
Yeah.
on your strengths. I love that. So I love that. That's
So
awesome.
that's my key.
So when it came to your whole attractive character framework situation, did you have any resistance to getting behind the camera the first few times you did it?
Oh yeah, I was trash, man. You can look at my older videos, and I was, how can I say it? I wasn't, I knew the process. Like if somebody talks to me about credit, I can break it down. But getting in front of the camera to display that confidence took time to break down what I was trying to say, and nervous of what people would think about what I was saying, thinking all those things were going in my head. And like, how do I look? Do I look weird? It's just all these different things of like public speaking and communicating what you have to say. So yes, it was hard. Like it
So
was easy to like create, like it was easy to create a post on Facebook because you're not showing video. You just before and after. I increase this person credit score by this many points. Hit me up if you want, or jump on a call. Like it was jump on a call, talking. Even like on a call, I wasn't as confident at first when I first did it. But when I started getting results for people, eventually I got more confident. So my business partner, like he's the more person that's like an extrovert that can talk, and he did some of the most. Well, we had a competition because which is crazy is we both have the same birthday. Um, and we had a competition like who can close the most sales, and that's when it raised up um the competition, the spark. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get better on the phone.
that's
So
awesome.
that's
So
I love
yeah,
that.
but
what
yeah,
are some of the
being on
big
video wasn't really good at first. Well, to me, how I felt about it, I was like, damn. I looked at my older content. I'm like, damn, I was horrible.
I feel that as a part-time content creator myself as well right now. It's like I'm sitting here and I'd like to lean into it more, but I hesitate on so much. Like what are some of the things that you kind of did to, I guess, advance your comfort with it and your confidence in it and all that? Was it just kind of keep going, or were there
Yeah,
specific
I
tactics?
continue making content every day, and then I started to I just get better. Like as you make videos every day, you just start to get more better. And then having a process, because my process isn't like when I talk about it's the same that I talk about, I just break it down a little bit different. But it's just like, how do you gonna take a person from A to Z? And then you have steps in between that. So you just those steps is where you rely on. And I believe so. If you trying to buy a house, like going from a renter to a homeowner, like in between that process, how are you going to break that down to somebody? And you have steps, and you can basically expound on those specific steps, which keep you on track. So for anybody that wants to do content creation, just have steps with your process, and then it'll help you create content better. So you like step one, do this, step two, do this, step three, do this. You can go more into step number three, basically off a specific question. So how to remove a charge off your credit report. I'm gonna break down those steps, but in that specific step, I could go more in depth on that specific step. And I think that can help a person. That's when I learned that creating content, you don't have to be like really good, but if you could just go within those steps, people are going to find value, even though you feel like you're not that good or you feel like you're not displaying it, but people are getting the value out of what you're saying. And all the other stuff you'll build over time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, so using that framework, I'm assuming
Mhm.
that's probably your most used framework. Is that correct? Kind of
Yes.
answering someone's question and then breaking it down into steps. Have you found that that performs better on certain platforms over others?
I just use mostly YouTube. I try to do the other platforms. I'm just taking out the clips, but I feel that performs best. For YouTube is just because people could follow with you what you're saying. So so let's just say, like I said, how to remove a charge off. So how to remove a charge off. I'm gonna show you 5 different steps on how to do. I'm gonna show you 5 steps on how to do that, and they just follow. All right, I'm gonna learn 5 steps on how to remove this charge off your credit report. So yeah, it makes it easier for a person. They know what they're coming for. They see what you're talking about, and they're just gonna follow along with you. So if you say that in your hook, it helped the process of them following the process because they have to stay as well to see the 5 steps. Because if they miss one step, it probably can't remove it from their credit report. So it helps. And if you could tell like a little story, like of a person you help, I mean, that helps too. But if you just straight to the point, it still works.
That makes sense. Very valuable. So can you tell me a little bit about, I'm just curious to know kind of your YouTube journey, because it sounds like you started there and that's been your main thing, if I understand correctly. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, you started in Facebook and then you transitioned to YouTube.
So
Um,
YouTube, I had created 2 videos back in 2020. I did like how to remove student loans because I was tired of people not giving people information. So I created a video back in 2020, and then I did like a testimonial video. And then that's when I had found like we was because everybody was home. So we was crushing it on Facebook and things like that. So that's when we was kind of home doing that process. Um, during the, COVID-19, everybody was home. So we was still, everybody was on their phones. Facebook was taking calls. And then as everybody transitioned back to work, trying to learn more stuff. So in 2021 is when I found a strategy um, of Nape would be about like answering specific questions and creating content. And I did that consistently I wasn't consistent and I was doing videos and then I just stopped. And then from 2022, I made a bet with my friend that the bet was to make a video every day. Well, yeah, make a video every day in 2022. And then from there, that's when the explosion happened in our business. And yeah, it's kind of, I didn't make a video I made a video every day for like 8 months and then I stopped because I learned a different strategy, a Daryl Eves, and then I did I like Daryl Eves strategy, but I just like the like what's working, why break it. So
amen to that.
I just started. I went back to my strategy. I was trying to like different strategies or learning about YouTube, but yeah.
So did you have like, starting out, I guess I'm kind of curious on a lot of the things that especially content creators and other individuals focus on in the beginning is, the external results, not so much the
Mhm.
input. It's more like how many subscribers did you get? How many likes
Yeah.
did you get? Can you kind of, I
So
guess,
for me, the reason why I joined YouTube was to get leads for our business. So I didn't care about subscribers, views. It was just like using this platform to get leads for our business because um just wanted to grow our business. I wanted a big business. So that was for me. Like subscribers, yeah. Like I didn't really care at the point when it came to subscribers and views. It was just like finding a question, answering the question, making a video, and making it really dope. That was just my like that's what became happy with. Like not only got 30 views, only many subscribers. No. Um I learned now that I know like I'm really in depth on YouTube, like having a lot of education. TubeBuddy and vidIQ are like these platforms, these tools that measured like thousands of YouTubers, right? So they broke down that if you want to get so many subscribers, you got to make these many videos, just like the average. So if you want to get to like, oh, I want to get 1 million subscribers, oh, I want to get 100K subscribers, you just gotta do this many videos. And on average, if you do these many videos, then you can get those specific milestones. But for me, it's about getting the leads to help people. So I get that and that when it comes to YouTube. So when I make the videos and being consistent, I'll get the subscribers, I'll get the views. I'm consistent, but I'll also get the people that need help or business. So it's a win-win situation. But if
I
people
love
want
that.
to do YouTube, it's the same thing. Especially like for business owners. Now for entertainers, I'll tell you to follow Daryl Eves I'm not saying he doesn't help for business. He does help for business owners, but if you want to get like leads right now, I would tell like everybody, just find a question people are asking, find a question people are asking, break down that question, and continue doing that consistently, and you'll get what you're looking for.
Makes sense. That's awesome. I love hearing your perspective on how you're not focused on the external things. You're focused on the actually helping people. Like, I know
Yeah.
that a lot of people who get out here have, you know, ulterior motives that are just for themselves, and they get very consumed in that. And then their pride gets wrapped up in it. And they're like, man, I didn't hit this milestone. And then they start beating themselves up. And you're like, who gives a shit about those? Like, we're
Yeah.
in here to, you know, serve people and help them. That's amazing.
So
Yeah.
the main thing is just like, yeah, just are you doing the things that are required? Are you reaping, like, you know, in the Bible, like you reap what you sow. So if you don't do nothing, you're not going to get nothing. So you can't expect nothing. But when I learned more about YouTube, even you got 30 views, if you broke that down into you was in the audience in front of 30 people, whew, you'll feel like your heart start beating. So it's the same exact thing. Now that's what people get caught up. And if you was in front of 100 people, you only got 100 views. If you was in the audience in front of 100 people, you'll probably be super nervous. So each person that watches your video is actually a person. So that person is going to find value in what you're saying. And when you put these specific questions in like Google or the title for YouTube, these people are searching the specific question. That means they're searching for the information. And the reason they can't find you is because you're not available to be found. So it's a win-win when you start to like find those questions people are asking to help your business. And you can do
I
all
love
that
that.
stuff, but we could just make it really simple. Find a question, break it down. Even if you do one a week, it doesn't matter, one a day. But if you want to get leads, do like at least 2 or 3 videos a week. Change the
Yeah.
game of your business.
I love that. I love how you're focused on the effort, not the result, because results
Yeah.
are going to happen, like you said, but you're focused on the effort. And if you can measure that and track that and continue to do it, like you said, it's going to come. And for
Mhm.
you, it came like, it came in abundance, which I love. I love
Yeah.
that. So, and obviously that was something you guys just kept being consistent too was the key. I like how that you said 8 months of straight videos. That's really where you got your leads, but you were giving so much value by answering the
Yeah.
right questions and giving the right value that people looked you up. So
It compounds because YouTube is like a house. All right. It will work for you over and over because those questions that I look for are people are searching that every single month. So it's like once you do it one time, it's like it'll continue over and over, and it'll continue paying you over and over as well. And then you continue building up I'm gonna say sales machines that is working for you over and over and over again. That's the reason why I like YouTube. So it's
love
gonna
it.
continue working for you when you make those videos because people are searching those questions every single month. So now you have one, but eventually when you have 300 people or 300 videos, it's a game changer.
I got 300 salesmen out there for you. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So this one, we'll always keep you all day here, but love the content today. I'm sure people saw a lot of value. We saw a lot of value in what you're sharing, what you're doing in your business. Can people connect with you or get a hold of you? Where can they find you at to get more information and learn more what you're doing?
So to connect with me, on Instagram, Dave Talks Credit. To learn about credit, Dave Cousins on YouTube, Dave Cousins Credit. You'll see. And then on Instagram, Dave Talks Credit, and then on Facebook, Dave Cousins on Facebook. So that's
Awesome.
how you find me on those
Awesome.
platforms. Yes, sir.
Love it. Love it.
Well,
Appreciate
appreciate
you.
your time today.
Oh,
Yeah,
no
thank you
problem.
so
I
much.
appreciate you for having me, and hope this helps people on their business and their credit. And it's a win-win for business owners. Go leverage their credit to get access to more funding. So hope it helps.